forget to turn on my camera. Greetings and welcome. This is New Thought Media Network. I'm Ken Ludwig. You are watching the Vibrant Living Hour, and I hope this day finds you safe, healthy, and happy, and enjoying your best life, doing whatever it is you're doing. That you are finding yourself in love with your existence. That you can wake up every morning and say, "I love my life. I love what I do. I love my family. I love myself," which is going to be kind of the subject of our show today. But hope it's all just unfolding as you would have it unfold. It's a time in history when I think we all need to focus our attention on exactly how do we want our lives to unfold? How do we want our lives to look? What do we want our existence to become? What do we want our experiences to be? And the only way we're going to do that is by creating it ourselves. And I think most people who watch this show know that. I got some kind of strange light in here today, don't I? But that's you know what? That's just the way it is sometimes. Let's try this. Oh, there you go. Is that close enough for you? I'm going to turn on my light here and see if that adds anything by way of turning down the glare. And I apologize here. I should have. This is something that you're supposed to do before your show goes on, but I haven't got that down yet. So what is that one? There we go. We'll try that one. That's better, actually. So, okay. So yeah, the show today is about the idea of self-love. Are you loving yourself? Are we loving ourselves as best we can? Doing the things that we need to do in order to ensure that we are showing up as the absolute highest, best version of ourselves that we possibly can each and every day. That next highest vision that I love to talk about. I've been listening to a lot of Louise Hay, and Louise Hay, boy, I'll tell you what. If you don't listen to Louise Hay, start. If you've never listened to her, you'll be blown away by the just her practice, her thoughts on affirmations and prayer work are just amazing. And she's someone who has created or did create in the course of her beautiful life. She created some amazing outcomes for herself coming from not so amazing beginnings. In fact, some pretty scary beginnings, actually, in a lot of ways. But I've been listening to a lot of Louise Hay, and she talks a lot about the idea of self-love. She talks all the time about the idea that everyone she has worked with during the course of her life, in one way, shape, or form, or to some degree, we all suffer from a sense of not enoughness, a sense of guilt, a sense of we're not enough, we don't do enough. That's a big one for me, man, that I don't do enough thing. You know what? The old expression, right? I'm not a human doing, I'm a human being. And when I'm getting into that mindset of I'm not doing enough, what I really probably ought to do is spend some time just being, and get out of that mindset, get away from feeling that I'm not doing enough. You have to bear with me here. For some reason, I feel that little tickle in my throat that might make me cough. Hopefully that'll take care of it. So, of course, when something comes to your attention, what that almost always does is bring other things to your attention around that exact same idea, and that's what happened with this stuff with Louise Hay. The idea of self-love. Self-love is not, I repeat, not my strongest suit. I mean, I'm good at lots of things. Self-love is not one of them, and something I'm working on. And I'm not good at it up until now, right? The old expression. I'm trying my level best to change my attitude about me, to start thinking in terms of loving me, to be more concerned with taking care of myself from the inside out. A lot of people, if you take care of yourself, you shower, you do your daily spiritual practice, you brush your teeth, you shave or put on your makeup, whatever it is you do, you put on nice clothes, you make it look like you're really taking care of you and you're making a nice presentation. But what's coming from the inside? Are we loving ourselves enough? Are we loving ourselves for real? And I'm not sure most of us have an idea of what that even looks like, what that even feels like. So I was thinking about some thoughts. What can I present to you from my standpoint of the things that I'm trying to work on that will help me with that concept of self-love? And I can see you folks are out there. I can see you're watching the show. Please make a comment, ask a question, just add to the conversation, whatever works for you. But I'm glad that you're out there. I'm glad you're watching, and I'm always thrilled to have people participate in the show. So please feel free to do that. But whatever your practice is to come alive before you present yourself to the world, I think I can put all of that into the category of spiritual practice. If you watch me at all, you know that I talk a lot about DSP, daily spiritual practice. And my daily spiritual practice includes mental, emotional, spiritual, and physical. It's about the meditation. It's about the prayer work. It's about the gratitude list. It's about having a decent nutrition in my body, and it's about movement. It's about exercise. And that is my spiritual practice. That's all well and good. But am I doing that practice from the perspective of loving myself or making a nice presentation? I think more often than not, it's less about loving myself than it is about not appreciating myself as I am. If that makes sense to you. I want to be a better me. I want to be a better person. I want to be a better metaphysician. I want to be better physically. I want to be in better health. I want to do all of those things. And it's really coming from a perspective of what's not there in my perception, what I'm not seeing as me. And if I turn that around and I do it from a standpoint of I love my body. I love the state of my health, and I love that it's improving, that it's always getting better. I love that my health is a divine right, and I claim it now, as opposed to I want to be healthier. I want to be stronger. I want to exercise to stay in shape. No, I am in shape, and I love that at 71 years old, I'm in the shape I'm in. I love that. I love that perspective. I love that about myself. And I am kind to myself. I treat myself with kindness. I don't beat myself up for not doing what I think I should be doing, or what I've tortured myself into believing I should be doing. The thing that brings me alive is to do spiritual practice, is to feel the aliveness of meditation, of the prayer work, of the daily readings, of my gratitude list, to do those things from a perspective of I love doing them. I love that I am doing them. I love that I am becoming more as I do them. Not from the perspective of I want to be more. I am becoming more. If I look at all of the things I do in my life and I just pay attention to the idea of the perspective is I am more. I've said for years and years and years, the universe is presenting us with an invitation 24/7, 365. And that invitation is to be more. The universe is always presenting us with the invitation and the opportunities to answer that invitation in the affirmative. I am more. Interestingly, I think that the first time you even say to yourself, I accept that invitation to be more, you instantaneously are more. Just can't not be, because you've accepted the invitation. And in accepting that invitation, we can lean into an idea of compassion and kindness and self-love, because in the end, everything we are doing to be more, to create a better vision of who I am. And if I just do it all from a sense of radical acceptance, radical compassion, radical self-love, if I do it from there, then I eliminate that not enoughness practice. I'm doing my daily spiritual practice because I'm not good enough at meditation yet. No, I'm great at meditation. I love that I meditate. I love that I learned to meditate over almost 45 years ago. I learned to meditate, and I love that it is my daily spiritual practice. And just let's be really clear. Do I do it every single day? I wish, but I rarely do any less than 5 out of 7 days. Rarely is that even possible, because it's important to me, because I love that I do it. And I don't feel the love of myself or my ability to love outwardly if I'm not doing it. It's part of what drives me. It's part of what makes me come alive. It's part of the expression of Ken Ludwig, is that metaphysician who daily does the practices that help him to love from the inside out. It really is about the love idea. I got a thing that came across, the old interwebs today. You are being presented with a choice: evolve or remain. If you choose to remain unchanged, you will be presented with the same challenges, the same routine, the same storms, the same situations, until you learn from them, until you love yourself enough to say no more, until you choose change. If you choose to evolve, you will connect with the strength within you. You will explore what lies outside that comfort zone. You will awaken to love. You will become. You will be. You will become. You will be. You have everything you need. Choose to evolve. Choose to love. Choose to forgive. Choose to, you start there. The other day, I've talked several times about forgiveness. Another thing that is just one of those things that I work on constantly. I think it's something that if you get to be my age, you've probably come across a few people in your life that you have held back forgiveness or held back love. And there needs to be some forgiveness involved there, I believe, if you're going to evolve and move forward and get past the ideas of resentment and long-held guilt around whatever those incidences were. So my practice is that I love is Ho'oponopono. Ho'oponopono is an old Hawaiian practice that is really about, it's Google it and I'll skip the explanation from me. Ho'oponopono, there was a forgiveness practice from my perspective. And in translated into English, there are just these simple sentences. I'm sorry, please forgive me. Thank you, I love you. That's it. I'm sorry, please forgive me. Thank you, I love you. And it works both ways. It works not only outwardly to people that I feel I owe forgiveness, but also to myself. And I some people I owe them forgiveness because of long-held resentment on my part. I'm forgiving that. Someone popped into my head today, and this is how effective this is actually, Ho'oponopono. Someone popped into my mind today about long-standing resentment with this person. I don't remember what it was from. I don't remember why it popped into my head, but I will tell you this. I don't remember who it was now. I did the Ho'oponopono work on that particular time in my life, or that situation, whatever it was. I did that work, took seconds, and now I remember who the person was. So it must have worked. Must have worked in some way, shape, or form. So forgiveness is huge. Louise Hay talks about forgiveness all the time. Long-held guilt and resentments lead to disease. Really simply. And if you bother to look at Louise Hay and to follow her teachings at all, you'll see that she actually will tell you long-held resentment can lead to cancer. Long-held guilt can lead to arthritis. Long-held not enoughness can lead to arthritis. I mean, just go look at those things, because they're fascinating, because it is the thoughts in our head, the things that we create our emotions from, which are our thoughts create feelings, create emotions. When that happens, we create a stream of chemical reactions in our bodies. There are all kinds of neurotransmitters that go through us, and they can be serotonin and epinephrine, and the ones that really make you feel good, or they could be dopamine, or they could be cortisol, and they could be adrenaline. that, adrenaline's great in the short term, but in the long term, not so much. You don't want adrenaline pumping through your body nonstop. You don't want cortisol pumping through your body nonstop. It doesn't help anything. So forgiveness is a big deal. Be kind. Be kind to yourself. Be kind to everyone you come in contact with. I love the part of the Optimist Creed written by Christian D. Larson many, many years ago. The one line is, "Wear a cheerful countenance at all times, and give every living creature you meet a smile." Wear a cheerful countenance at all times, and let every God. Am I having trouble talking here? Wear a cheerful countenance at all times, and give every living creature you meet a smile. And I've done that on particular days consciously. To the bugs, the squirrels, the birds, give them a smile. And there's a sense of kindness there that then translates into when you go somewhere where there are people, you smile at people. When my beloved Lisa and I go for a walk on Sunday morning around Lake Johnson here in Raleigh, we love that walk. And I literally say good morning and wave to virtually every single person we go by. Not 100%, 99% though. I don't miss too many. There's some that are just so totally, absolutely preoccupied or talking on their phone or something that good morning just isn't happening. And there are some I say good morning, they completely ignore me. But what I really do with better than half the people that I come in contact with where I am, I just express that kindness of good morning. Those better than half of those people change their countenance. They smile. Good morning. How are you? How you doing today? Something comes back from that kindness. And in the end, isn't that always and only just an expression of love? And when you love, let's do our damnedest to love from that perspective of unconditional love. Unconditional love to me really is very simple. Unconditional love means I love with no expectations of anything in return. That's unconditional. If you're expecting something in return, then it's conditional love, and now you're doing something different. Then it's not really love anymore. It's something else altogether. I don't know what the hell you call it. But those are the things that I think help to generate this sense of love from within that allows us to love ourselves. When we present into the world the ways I'm just talking about, with kindness, with forgiveness, with compassion for ourselves, with compassion for one another, with no expectations of anything in return for our good wishes or our good emotions. When we do that, it sets us up to really truly feel, in a sense, that I love myself. I love myself because I am presenting into the world as the beneficial presence that I so very much expect to be, profess to be. And I think that self-love allows me to continue to express love to others. Is it even possible to express love for others when feeling less than love for ourselves, less than compassion for ourselves, less than total kindness for ourselves? Compassion and kindness for ourselves, I think, are a very big deal. Most of us are really good at beating ourselves up for not being the person we wanted to be or said we were going to be, or blah, 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 blah. Come from that whole sense. I am a beneficial presence, and I am a beneficial presence because I love who I am. I love what I am creating. I love that I am here. And by the way, when we talk about a loving God, I have expressed this before. To me, God is not the guy in the sky. God is not some, white bearded guy sitting on a cloud, granting wishes or throwing lightning bolts. God is the overarching creative intelligence of the universe, and it does one thing and one thing only, and it creates, and it volitionally creates. It is an intelligence that decides what it will create, and by its very decision creates it. And it loves what it does so much that it continues to create. That's why science tells us we live in an ever-expanding universe. That God loves itself, its creation. It experiences itself through its creation. It is in love with everything about itself and what it does and what it has created. And that is us. And that is our loving God. And that is our ability to just continue with that love flowing from the divine source out from our heart, out from our minds, out from every aspect of our consciousness, of our being. By the way, I can see you folks out there, and I just want you to say, say hi, make a comment, ask a question. I'm thrilled to have you here, and thanks for stopping by and being here. Yeah, so that's I don't want to beat that one too much. I think maybe I already have. The are we loving ourselves enough was the question for the show, and I think I made the point. There's something going on in the world. Our shows are spiritual. Our shows are positive. Our shows are they're not supposed to be divisive in any way. I hope I'm never divisive, although I'm opinionated. I have no problem expressing my opinion. You don't do a podcast because you got nothing to say. And sometimes if you got things to say, you're going to say stuff that a lot of people disagree with or don't like or push back against or whatever. But I'm going to get a little political here for a minute. I'm going to talk from a perspective of politics, but I'm going to right back to what we were talking about during the first half of the show here, which was about love. All right. We have at the moment, I believe there are three. I can only think of two who come to mind by name right at the moment. But we have some governors of some states in this country. We have the governor of Texas. We have the governor of Florida, who are expressing huge concerns, mostly BS, about the other party enamored of open borders. Just opening the borders, we're letting anybody just flow in from everywhere. And that's just not true. It's just not true. Now go look that up. Go, I'm not going to explain the dynamics of all to you, but just go look it up and you will see that there is nobody that's in favor of open borders. I will tell you this. We need immigrants in this country more than we have ever needed immigrants, because even though the economy is creating more and more and more jobs every single month under Joe Biden, that we've created an enormous number of jobs, gotten back all the jobs that we lost during the pandemic. And even more problem is we don't have enough people to fill the job. And unemployment at an all-time low. So what that says is we don't have enough people. And we need more skilled and unskilled workers in this country. But what's happening is in Texas, you have a lot of people from South and Central America coming into the United States through the border. They are seeking asylum. They are legally permitted into the country while their quest for asylum is being considered. That's the law. That's the way it is. And and you know what, quite honestly, it's the compassionate thing to do, because so many of these people are coming to this country because they are afraid for their lives, because of where they live. They are in danger, because they are in abject poverty, because they don't have enough to feed their children. We absolutely, compassionately need to take care of these people. But here's what's happening. Because that party, stop pussyfooting around here, because the right, if you will, just the right, forget the party name, you figure it out. Because the right is so anti-immigrant, anti-immigration, because what they really are is playing to the fears of those in this country who are afraid of immigrants, those in this country, in particular, the ever shrinking white male majority of this country, they play to those fears. That immigrants are taking your jobs, immigrants are doing this, they're bringing drugs. They're, the old lines from a disgraced, twice impeached ex-president. They're just playing to fear. That's all. It's real simple. But what I really want to talk about is we are the country of love and compassion. We are the country of the great expression on the Statue of Liberty, send me your tired, your poor, your downtrodden. We are the country that the great masses come to for relief from whatever their strife is, whatever their struggles are, expecting that America is the land of milk and honey. We are the land of opportunity. We have always been, until we have developed this political party of hate that now is just, no, don't come. We don't want you, blah, blah, blah. The governor of Texas has been sending busloads of unfed or I should say just busloads of immigrants without water, without food from Texas to New York and to Washington, D.C. Sanctuary cities, he calls them. Sanctuary cities has nothing to do with just accepting every immigrant. Sanctuary cities is a reference to the facilities of the city itself, and this, let's take New York City, the facilities of New York City, whatever those are, shelters, whatever kind of services they offer to immigrants, and particularly undocumented immigrants, they refuse to provide that information to ICE, to Immigration and Customs Enforcement, for the purposes of deporting those people. That's a sanctuary city. It's not a city that just says, yeah, just send them all in. But of course, in order to prove a ridiculous, petty political point, Greg Abbott in Texas has been sending busloads of these people without food and water to Washington, D.C. and to New York. To not be outdone, to not be out-trumped by Greg Abbott, Ron DeSantis in Florida has now, just in the last 24 hours, sent 2 private plane loads of immigrants to Martha's Vineyard. Martha's Vineyard. Martha's Vineyard is a vacation paradise for the well-to-do and well-off that has exactly that many services for the poor, the indigent, the immigrant, the undocumented. There are no services available on Martha's Vineyard. But this is, and the only reason this came up today is because this is how, excuse me, this is how the response should be. This is how it should look. All right, this is from a person on Martha's Vineyard. I was at St. Andrew's Church helping to feed these people. They were told they were going to Boston, where housing and jobs were waiting for them. In other words, they were lied to. There were men, women, and children. They hadn't eaten anything since 6 a.m. 6 a.m. And they took a plane flight from Florida to Martha's Vineyard. They hadn't eaten anything since 6 a.m. What kind of a depraved individual loads up 50 people onto a plane and dumps them in a strange place without even notifying anyone that they're coming? These are leaders? These are Christians? I'll tell you what this is. It's a disgusting political stunt at the expense of human beings just wanting to work and provide for their families. But you know what? On this island, we treated them with dignity. We fed them, we gave them medical attention, and we will give them a warm and safe place to sleep. Tomorrow, we will give them breakfast and help them to figure out what's next. Because on Martha's Vineyard, we won't turn our backs on people in need who are being abused by extremist Republican governors for some cheap soundbite on Fox News. Thank you to all the volunteers who were there. It restores my faith in humanity that we came together to help people in need. Yes, thank you to each and every one of you, to all the volunteers, to everyone who came together to take care of these people. That is what we are about. That is what America is about. That is back to the beginning of this show. That's love. That's compassion. That's kindness. And again, I don't want to make it political, but I'm going to call a spade a spade. It is these 2 Republican governors. There's a third one. I can't remember who it is. But these 2 Republican governors, excuse me, Greg Abbott in Texas and Ron DeSantis in Florida, are using human beings as cannon fodder for their campaigns to make it look like they are owning the libs. What they're owning is hate. What they're owning is a despicable demonstration of just total disinterest and uncaring for their fellow human beings. That's all. I don't want to go any further than that because it gets too political, and I'm not here to be political. I'm sorry, I got that tickle again. I'm not here to be political, but I want to point that out. Everyone, wear a cheerful countenance at all times and give every living creature you meet a smile. From the Optimist Crate. I see you folks out there. I'm coming to the end of the show. If you just want to say hi, I'd be thrilled. Wayne, appreciate you always being there, my friend, and always contributing. Thank you very, very much. It's always a pleasure to have you on board. You folks know that, of course, New Thought Media Network is a nonprofit organization. If you go to ntmedia.org, newthoughtmedia.org, you click on donate, we would be absolutely thrilled beyond comprehension with anything and everything you bestow upon us. We don't care if it's $1 or however much you want. We are thrilled to receive the money, and we are very, very grateful to you. If you want to find me, you can go to Facebook, to my branded Facebook page of my beloved Lisa, Vibrant Aging. Of course, Vibrant Aging goes right hand in hand with this show, Vibrant Living. You can email me if you wish at teamrockitnow@gmail.com. Of course, you should always know that the sponsor of this show is HempWorks, the best CBD on the planet, the most extensive line of CBD and hemp-infused products you will find anywhere in the world, and simply just, at every step of the way, ensuring that they are providing the very best product, the very purest product, the very, very most accurate potency of product you're going to find anywhere. I love this stuff. Your entire body has receptors for CBD. Every single cell has receptors for CBD. Try it. You'll like it. If you want to know more, just find me. I go back to, I've lost track of what banners I put up and what banners I haven't put up. But, I want to make sure we go back to newthoughtmedia.net, ntmedia.org. And that is where you can donate to our cause. If you like this show, if you like this network, if you like what we're doing here and what we're trying to create, please come join us. And your donations are welcome. And back at you, Wayne. You be the light too, my friend. I want to, that's all I got for you today. I hope I wasn't too political. I hope I didn't ruffle too many feathers. But if I ruffled your feathers, stop and think about why. Because that's another form of self-love. Ask yourself why. What triggers you. And then love yourself through that. As always, I'm immensely grateful for the great gift of your time and your attention. I wish you, each and every one of you, I wish you all the love and all the wow, I forgot my closing, folks. All the love and blessings that the universe has to offer. I am so grateful to be here. I'm glad you joined me. I hope you'll join me every Thursday right here at 4 o'clock Eastern Time, 2 o'clock Mountain Time for another edition of the Vibrant Living Hour. Until then, namaste.